Welcome back to another Trigger Tuesday. This is Quad 7 Trigger speaking to you, and today's topic is junk in the trunk. Now, when I moved into this place here, there was a lot of stuff in the basement. A lot of paint cans, a lot of thinners, a lot of highly toxic, flammable, explosive type stuff in the basement. All in paint cans usually. But yeah, I move in there and I expected the landlord to move this stuff out. You know, he told me, well, if I push this over to the side here in the corner here, you know, he'll come back, check it out, and, you know, take what he needs for himself and throw away the rest. Well, he just told me, you know what, just get rid of it. I'll just take some of that off your rent. Well, you know, that's nice, but, you know, especially when I'm moving in virtually everything myself and not using movers, not using a moving truck, just using my own personal truck, and you know, having a couple of friends help me here and there with a couch or a table, that's kind of annoying because, you know, not only do I have to move everything myself, place it, you know, put it where it needs to be, and then I have to clean up afterwards, you know, from the previous owners. So that's a bit annoying. You know, the nice thing is, though, that, you know, he's taking it off the rent. So that's a good thing. You know, that works out. That'll be fine. And so, you know, I think now that I've moved out, you know, and thrown away a lot of it, you know, it's getting really, the place is looking really good now, and I'm starting to appreciate it more. This is one of those things that, you know, I thought that he would, you know, take care of it a little bit more. I mean, it is a 100-year-old building, but it's still in not, you know, it's still in decent condition. And, you know, I just would have kind of expected that. It sounded like he didn't even want to rent the place before, but it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you not want to rent a place that you own? I mean, if you have a place for rent, why would you not want to rent it out to someone? I mean, you're making rent money off of that, and over the course of a year and then some, it's going to pay for itself more. So, you know, that's something that was kind of interesting and kind of weird that, you know, he told me, and I just didn't understand why, you know, you'd want to do that in particular. But in any case, yeah, it's something that was a concern for me because, you know, I have a little girl, and she can start to walk downstairs now on her own, and that was something that I kind of had a concern about because you got, you know, 50 plus paint cans and paint thinners and all sorts of stuff in the basement. I mean, I know she can't really pry off the lids yet, but, you know, just for her to go down there and say something were to fall off one of the old shelves, you know, that's something that just concerns me. Plus the fact is, you know, he didn't have a fire detector in here before we even moved in. There were no smoke detectors, not in the entire building. So I was like, you really don't care that much, do you? And yeah, that's not safe at all. So we had to go over a few demanding things with him, you know, to get the place in, you know, current safety condition to make sure it was safe to at least move into. So, I mean, you know, I've lived in older buildings before, and I, you know, expect a certain type of quality from some older buildings. So, you know, moving into a really old building like this, it doesn't really concern me too much. But, you know, I mean, one of the things you need to have in a really old house is a fire detector, a smoke detector, because that's essential. That is definitely essential because the older the house is, the more likely it is to catch on fire. And, you know, just because the wood is rotted and older. I mean, old wood burns easier than new wood, or than fresh wood. That's just something like if you're going to have a campfire, you don't want to take wood that you just cut. You want to take wood that's been sitting and dried for about a year. And so that's just the way it goes. But in any case, another thing I wanted to talk about today, too, was that probably not all these Trigger Tuesdays are going to be COD related. They're probably going to be any random video that I want to do. I think in the future I'm coming up to doing a Front Mission 3 series, so I might put some of that in there. I have some other Final Fantasy games that I like to play still, and I might put those in there too. And anything you guys want to suggest is perfectly fine. as long as I have the game. I only have a certain amount of that I can really spend for games right now. When you get older and you have a family, you kind of have to put your priorities in check, and make sure that you put the family first. And so that's a very important thing. So I have certain games. If you want to ask and see what kind of games I have, I don't mind telling you. It's not a big deal. But yeah, just expect, there might be some different games like Front Mission 3 or Front Mission 4. I do have that one too. Final Fantasy. Most of the Final Fantasies I have. The only one I don't have is the Final Fantasy 3, the original Final Fantasy 3 for Japan, the Japanese release. And the current Final Fantasy 13. I don't have that yet. Waiting for the price to come down. But yeah, another thing too is I'm kind of coming close to the end of my Brigadine videos. There's not much more that I can really show you. Someone else did, offer me a challenge, and said, well, how about you beat Bullnoil with horses? And I said, well, okay, can I choose what kind? And he said, yeah, you can choose what kind. I said, well, all right, then I'm going to take all centaurs, because I don't think all Pegasuses would work. I mean, they would heal, but I don't think that they would really do enough damage to kill the guy off. So yeah, so I said, yeah, I'm going to do all centaurs, and so that's been a grueling struggle to try to do that. And so far, I'm pretty far in the creating of the high centaurs to get to that point where I can record it. Yeah, that's one of the last challenges I'll probably do for Brigandine, and then I'm going to move on to a few different games here and there. And so you might see some COD on this particular type of video for Trigger Tuesday, and you might not. I'm just going to alternate it with whatever works for the length of the video. So thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, leave a rating, leave a comment, and all that good stuff. And thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Our foes have failed.